and utilizing this Talia wall to its utmost potential, because there is potential for some big Gnar Talia combination plays here.
Oh yeah, I think there is something Deep Cross have built for themselves to be able to find openers, find plays, but the damage is a little bit concerning. The question will be, as we get onto the Rift, which of these two teams will keep the momentum going? I love that Frank Esports big-brained the draft and really denied a lot of the spice that Deep Cross like to bring. Let's see if it's going to be enough here. How do you feel about the Zari pick? I know we were talking up the Victor. What's the calculus change here for Frank Esports?
I mean, when Pretender is on this Ari pick, he's just extremely lethal on trying to create picks. And for DCG, their only way in is to try and find picks. But against an Ari pick, you're just denying a lot of that as well, right? You can generate your own picks, but you can also just constantly dash away out of sticky situations with your ultimate. So it denies one of DCG's win conditions with this Ari pick.
Let's talk a little bit about our globals as well, because Frank Esports have gone for the triple teleport setup with Eminem on the Seraphine. While Nesty will at some point have access to a teleport, it's not quite as clear-cut with the unsealed spellbook.
And over on the side of DCG, they also are running double cleanse, knowing that there's so much CC to pile in, right? There's the Jack stun, there's that charm, and also the stun coming in from carries, and might get jumped on though.
Yeah, carries. All right.
Okay, that was
very underwhelming.
Boo! I know they can't hear us, but boo!
Fight, you cowards!
Exactly.
That's a sweet Amumu skin, by the way. I don't think I've seen that one before.
It's the teapot chroma, so it's the porcelain.
Yeah, it's the chroma.
Yeah.
I dig it. Amumu is getting some love these days, not just in the champion pools of players, but also in the skins department. I think good old Cloud Templar would be very happy.
Yeah.
So shout out for some old school League fans will get the reference.
I appreciate the Mumu coming back into meta as well, right? This is a champion, who in this current meta is really, really cool to watch because he brings that big, massive team fight potential. Not like the Nautilus, where you're kind of alt and slowly wait for the ult to kick in. This is some big wow moments, right, with the Mumu, where you can get 4 or 5 man ults and just really game changes everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get on my high horse for a second, Nightstar, because like Amumu is a champion from a simpler time, right? He's very much a throwback. None of this like 200 years of collected game design. Give me all these guns that you swap and like impossible to plan out and explain abilities, and the tooltips are like a mile long. No. It's very simple. He throws bandages, he cries, and he has an ultimate that is just press AoE and everyone is stunned. Or worded it. It's simple. It's a nice, good bit of game design.
Party into the mid lane.
I'm done ranting because Pretender is in trouble. As he's gonna rotate around the side. No, okay.
Oh, nice charm turn.
Into the orb, and here comes Holo. Not gonna be able to find it
yet. Good denial.
Okay.
Good denial coming in from Nesty. Throwing out the work ground to deny that space. Really, really nice. And for Frank Esports, I mean, you're perfectly happy with that situation. You're just eating up time. As time goes on, it's all on DCG to make the plays. They're the ones working on a bit of a clock. So, Wise Cam, we'll see how he does in this matchup. I don't believe he's played the Jax into the Gnar yet. And to be honest, I kind of expected the Gwen if we're looking at the individual matchup, but this pick makes much more sense given that, it would be so much magic damage, right, if that was the case.
Absolutely. Hana's actually going to be waiting around here up towards the top side, and with Mega Gnar on...
And he bait it. Oh.
I mean, I think he does. That's going to be the counter-strike. The question is, does he get away? Has a flash. Waiting, holding, using.
Very good.
And YS Kim's out. Well,
Woody's making.
I don't think he's going to let him get away.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Flash Ignite available.
Locked him up under tower. Teleport coming in. All right, he's
through.
gonna get some relief. This
That's
is
Seraphine.
from... Oh, it's double teleport. Oh, okay.
They really wanted to bait that. But
oh boy,
that's actually massive, though. If you think about it, because look at how far Eminem has to walk. This is a long, long journey. He's gonna be making those steps.
Yeah, not so magical journey. So Eminem is gonna say hi to Pretender, just do a little bit of pumping up his team, you know, running through the party, getting the sound station going, and just getting everyone pumped and excited. But unfortunately for them, it does mean Criscata just gets complete free farm down bottom side. Yeah. By the way, Criscata still has the spear.
Yeah, actually hasn't used spear yet.
That's interesting. That's Is there a chance we get somebody else bonded? Is this a leaky Pokeball?
Could be a thing. We'll see how it turns out. I mean, you could also just have it on Hana so he can ult aggressively forward.
Yeah, kind of like the option. Okay, there you go. Yeah, never mind. I was thinking it was gonna happen. It just was a little bit delayed, or it was a visual bug. I don't know. Leaky 6, but
I mean, YSCam does not care.
No,
he just keeps going.
This man
has a Sheen, of course.
This man has zero cares for what the other player, other team is going to do. And that's the thing. He's got no chill, but he's got the skill to back it up. And YSCam is just so good. We have seen this Jax a couple of times in his hands. It was both times against a Gwen, though. So this is the first time he's up against an R with it. You're right. And that is our matchup
down
to
in
watch.
the spot lane, even though the Seraphine is at a deficit, right? You're completely comfortable with it because you know the outscale is going to happen eventually. And the amount of CC, again, it's all about this area denial against the Callista, and there is a lot of it. Like, Criscata has to be perfect with his sidestepping in these fights. And that also means he has to be very careful when he autos, right? Because autos are mini stuns, because you're stuck in the auto animation. Hollow making his way into this bot lane as well, does dodge.
Ooh,
the vision.
Advantage toss finds Criscata. If they can bait the trade, this is going to be big here. Level 6 yet to be hit by Eminem and Woody. Encore would be a big one to use, and nope, not going to go and fall for it. But yeah, this is a good start. I think Frank Esports, like, this is the second game against a tough opponent that we've seen them kind of draft gap. Like, this team is very, very good at putting themselves in a good position from the beginning of the game. The question is, can they pull off the execution yet again?
Yeah, YSKM does go by that control ward over by the blue area, which is really nice ward spot. Not often checked as well. ST will clear out that wave, and our next play should be around this next dragon in 3 minutes, or around this Rift Tarot that is already up. But when we talk about Rift Tarot control, of course, both of these globals or both of these roaming mid laners will start to play a factor.
Very true. And both these top laners are just going to keep wailing on each other. YSKM, yep, going to force that hop out. Here comes Hana back up to the top.
No flash on chat.
Closely by Holo. Double control wards down in that brush now. Everyone sees everything.
Yeah, everyone matching their wards across the board. And it will be Herald started out.
Herald. Ooh, boy, everybody's turning for that. Yeah, Holo's like, wait a minute. What are you all doing here? I'm going to turn him away.
Building up his Narbar. So this is a potentially very dangerous fight here. But side of Frank Esports, they have committed everyone to this. So that means DCG, they have to go back off. And because this Callista, she's not going to push quite fast enough this wave. So they aren't going to be punished in that regard because of the fact that Seraphine crashes waves really, really easily. Criscata will be able to get one play, but that's not quite enough to match the 2 that you are guaranteed to get if you throw down the Herald fast enough.
Yeah, but it is it's not just place. It's also like solo XP and gold off the minions too. I do think that if you're planning on having Criscata be the big win condition, that's not a bad thing to have, but it is worth noting what you're giving up for it. Absolutely. So the Herald, and try to get some extra value out of that one.
Okay.
Gets another plate. I mean, yeah, that ain't bad.
Solid.
Good CS lead as well. So Chris Scott is going to have to do some heavy lifting, but it wouldn't be the first time that he's done that for Deep Cross Gaming. We talked about rookie prospects. Well, in the bottom lane, it was massive, as that Gnar just shoves YSKM away on the counter-strike, matching pressure for pressure, blow for blow. We do always have to keep an eye up here. Whether or not the junglers are involved, I think there's always kill potential.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that this is the clear pressure point for the side of Frank Esports. They want to find an opportunity to throw down the Rift Herald for YSKM if possible, because then you snowball this Jax out of control with that
Deep
extra turret gold.
They cannot let that happen.
Yeah. Hana Hollow will see each other here. And a lot of pings into that mid lane. Woody has made his way over to the mid lane. Of course, now we have Dragon coming up. So they're just trying to get early priority so they can make their way into the river afterwards. But for Hollow, this is also an opportunity to just, hey, if they expose that mid lane, we throw down Rift Herald, force them to respond, and make our way back over to Dragon. But we don't have to force this. Teleports are available from both of our bottom half teleport carriers.
Yeah, YSKM's a few seconds away. Leaky's about to get his a little bit closer out cooldown, and I think Frank have done a really good job at keeping the vision game secure so that Deep Cross can't do anything blind. I mean, this is one of the differences between some of our top and bottom teams who just get caught with their pants down.
Could be a
Frank Esports have done a good job, as they could be sandwiched here as they start off Cloud Dragon, but 4 members strong. Vision fully controlled also by Deep Cross. Teleport's now available. Do they want to tangle 5v5? Holo keeping the Dragon aggroed. And here comes the Weaver's Wall into Woody. They've actually isolated Pretender for the rest of the team. And Holo is the one that getting fired down upon as Chris Scotta just finds a lot of spears. Not enough to finish the job on the Leaky. Running around the side. They don't even bring YSKM. This is a full-on 5v4 for Deep Cross Gaming. They get 2 and will claim the Dragon.
A very, very good fight coming in from DCG. They're the ones to bring down Leaky, very close to Mega Gnar as well, or bringing him down at the very least gives them the numbers advantage. They also have the teleport to send him back up into the top lane. Great ultimate coming in from Nesty. It splits up this fight and makes sure Hollow doesn't have any other help. And this is like the Cloud Dragon. Starting out the Cloud Dragon is very, very dangerous because of how much damage Cloud Dragon does bring to the table. He's already taken down to half HP before this fight even starts. And he jumps in, yes, the idea is good. But unfortunately, because of the wall and because of how much damage Hollow takes at the start of that, there's just not enough pressure to actually commit to try and win that fight. So
yeah, he's fully
DCG,
out of that one.
Well done there. And YSKM, he could get jumped on. There's 3 people up top.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. But his game senses
has a good ward.
Oh, maybe they weren't. Going for the flash into the hit. Oh, no. That's the chase. He's stunned. He goes for it. And he even gets the kill in the 1v3. But Hana will claim his life and his soul afterwards. So, my goodness. Here's the dive coming on. Chris Scotta isolated from the pack. Should be able to get him here. And Eminem even taking a little bit of sour shots. It's Holo that gets him. Chris Scotta even burns flash insult to injury.
Very well done coming in from Frank Esports. Very simple play there, and for Chris Scotta, just overstays his welcome. Again, you're showing your 3-man. The immediate response coming in from Frank Esports was very, very swift. It was very good response. Yes, it's definitely, you know, hey, you should definitely know that you're going to come under fire because the jungler is going to make his way over, seeing the other jungler up on the other side. But it's also a play that Frank Esports weren't super decisive on last split. So, you know, definitely credit where credit is due for Frank being able to quickly identify these changes.
Yeah, they've kept the gold relatively close, despite the fact that Deep Cross have been able to win a little bit more on these fights and get a little bit of CS.
Ooh,
Hana
fast fingers.
Finds YSKM instantly on the counter-strike. And it's honestly, just once that staff starts twirling, you're just like, all right, I'm not getting anywhere near that anytime soon. I love YSKM's killer instinct, right? He knows he's a dead man. He knows that it was so close. He's like, all right, YOLO. Just dives in, realizes he's dead either way, and he grabs Leaky. Like, there are top laners who will very much hesitate and just straight up lose. Not YSKM.
He's gonna get himself a blue buff as well, so the extra ability haste.
Not for you, Pretender.
I mean, he's just going to be able to constantly take trades now. And against a manaless top laner, it helps considerably because it just means it's one less resources you don't have to really manage here as Dragons in 2 minutes. So we're a little bit early to the party. Definitely.
Yeah, this is just board wars. It's okay. I mean, it's a very important dragon, right? Because you've got a pretty big soul if Deep Cross can secure it. But I think also for Frank Esports, they've got time on their side. They want to just cut the Drake stack because, as you said, it's really on Deep Cross to make those plays early before things get out of control and the monster in the top lane just starts wrecking towers.
Yeah, for DCG, they absolutely need this Dragon Soul because it helps put them over the top with looking for damage against things like a Amumu, a Xin, a Jax, and shores up a lot of their late game issues where they should run out of damage. Now they're going to make their way back into the river, be able to reclaim some of the vision control. And Frank Esports, though, you know, they understand the game here. Just keep jostling back and forth.
This also the spike mythics are pretty much on everybody but the supports right now too. A couple of Leandries, Frank, are definitely looking to deal some damage in the magic department as well.
Yeah, looking more so for these slower fights. Pretender opting for it as well. Also has the lucidity boots. So his playstyle here is essentially I want my ultimate up as much as possible because I know the only one of the few ways we can lose this mid-game tempo and slow our way to the late game is if I get caught out. And I don't have cleanse. So the best way for me to do that, just have my ult up more so I can keep dashing.
Keep your eye on those teleport timers. They're about to come up, and that's in time for the Dragon. I feel like last time with the 5v4, you know, YSKM just opted instead to try and get a few plates off the tower, but it did cost his team. If that was the play call, they didn't quite win out on the fight. Now they're at the inside track on the Dragon. 4 members are here, and they are going to proc it at least. Holo doing this in full vision as they clear the ward away, and it's actually Deep Cross that are not making the move to set it up. Charm does go out. You gotta be careful in those choke points. They are waiting and baiting it for the time. Will the Jax TP in? YSKM sitting in the brush, actually just gonna start walking for it. Here comes the TP.
There we go, Leaky teleporting.
Ah, it's matched. That's a little bit of a long distance, though. Here comes YSKM. How late will he be to the party as they do find the stun?
YSKM?
Here comes the Weaver's Wall. It's going to cut a couple people off from, but YSKM does immediately go to the counter strike. Looks for Leaky. No Narbar to speak of, and he's actually zoned out of this one. Hana, Woody trying to buy a little time here as Hana takes him out of the fight, and they claim the Jax for themselves. Criscata dishing damage, and it's Frank Esports that are headed for the hills here.
They're all really low.
There's a chance. Stolen, rather, secured by Hana. Finally, Deep Cross Gaming, they get the fight, they get the Dragon again, but that was too close for comfort.
Yeah, it was definitely on the edge, but DCG, they get the lead they need. They find themselves the 3rd Dragon to threaten Soul on that next spawn, and in addition, they've been able to craft themselves a 5k gold lead. And once more, as Frank Esports starting out the Dragon, I feel like them starting it out is just not what they want to do. They want to wait for YSKM to actually get here before they throw in that play. And the wall, once more, finds really solid impact, although, you know, maybe split impact because of the fact that it does split Leaky off of his team. But they are able to reconvene very quickly, and things go south for Frank Esports. But Frank Esports, again, it's just about buying time. Unfortunately, this 5k gold lead can be a deal breaker right here because of, again, the soul point, or soul is being threatened.
Yeah, Frank, I mean, the Silver Linings have got objective bounties, but unfortunately, Rift Herald is still going to push a little bit faster than a Jax solo, and I kind of feel like YSKM maybe should have just stayed on top side to threaten that a little bit more, and it was just such a far teleport, and then, yeah, he gets involved, doesn't quite pop Leaky in time, even in Mininar, and gets completely isolated. Hana turns on him, gets the reset, and this is the thing about Viego. You manage to get the kill, all of a sudden you can turn one of your opponent's greatest strengths against them by stealing away their champion.
Yeah, and stealing away all their items as well. So
It's not fair, man. Diego, he's too good.
Exactly.
Can you believe he was even better last season? Holy moly, man. Rito, please.
Oh my God, Scott. He's pretty strong now. Has 2 items now completed.
Against his rage blade.
He's trying to get to. I feel like this is an incorrect build path. He's going for the Archangels right here. I would have much rather see him with the Rylai's, just because again, moves when you apply these slows onto a champion like Kalista, it does also hamper her ability to do damage.
And that's what Cascada did yesterday.
Yeah, the move speed reduction makes it harder to jump around, and jumping around is pretty much directly related to how many auto attacks you do get out as a Kalista. So DCG.
I'm most surprised by
in the draft
doing that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, like if anybody knows
it's a little bit cheaper
around a Kalista, it's got to be Eminem. Maybe it is just an adaptation because they are behind. He's trying to get himself into the later stage of the game, but you got to be ready to fight in 2 minutes. That's honestly gonna be game defining at this point.
Yeah, trying to get a little bit more damage. Actually, I'm not sure if it is cheaper given the fact that Rylai's is an incredibly cheap item. I'm actually thinking that it's still probably cheaper to go for Rylai's. But Frankie Esports, what's the next move? That, of course, you know, it's Dragon is on the table in 90 seconds, but can they find anything before then?
If they can get a pick, that's massive, right? Like, Deep Cross Gaming could push themselves a little bit too deep in enemy territory, but playing it relatively safe, grouping when they go a little deep, controlling this side of the map, and getting a lot of vision down. It does seem like they're eyeing towards Baron. You know, Deep Cross could just be saying, all right, I mean, if we let you take the Dragon away, we're just going to handshake for the Baron buff. Like, that's possible. They have a Kalista. It's basically a second smite.
Yeah, they have their pick of the litter when it comes to foreseen objectives. So now they're also going to get the Scuttle in the bot river, which means that's going to grant them vision once Dragon does spawn. And for Frankie Sports, they're just trying to do what they can, which is get mid lane priority, rotate over for bot river, and try and clean out the vision. But more importantly, Pretender needs to get here. They need to just full group 5 and sort of ARAM it up. YSCam is here. Pretender does have a Cosmic Drive, so a lot of cooldown or ability haste built into this build to try and generate picks and stay safe.
Stay safe, the name of the game. Carries getting caught for a second by Leak. He does walk away with most of his health, and now they've grouped, but the Dragon is up. This is going to be big. Inside track for Deep Cross. Keep your eyes on YSCam. This time he has the ability to choose his own positioning. Deep Cross, they're going to start by cutting him off. There's the Weaver's Wall. Here comes YSCam around the side. They still find the damage. Oh, a big old Gnar, but here comes the Jax along with the Amumu, looking for Cascada, but Nesty's already taken him out of the fight. What a big old Gnar from Leaky. Sets up for his team, earns himself a double kill, and they go Goomba stomping to victory.
And that was probably more of the ideal setups right there coming in for Frankie Esports. You get YSKM onto the big carry of Cascada, and you just think, oh, that's all their damage gone. But no, they've just dogpiled in way too much on the other side of that wall. Woody finds a great stun lockdown combination into Nesty, into later on that Mega Gnar ultimate. At DCG, they find the play call, and it's very, very well executed, and they are well on their way to closing this game out.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I think they even timed it on the Baron just well enough to have Cascada come up. Let's take a look at this fight. Yeah, a really good start to this. They are able to have Pretender lead, but man, Woody just unlocks everyone for days. It's like Super Bash Bros over here. And Cascada dies. So what? Look at that Gnar from Leaky.
Yep.
It doesn't get much better than that.
It really doesn't, and just not enough damage afterwards. Pretender with this build, of course, keeping himself safe, but already one of those champions that just doesn't have that extra oomph as the game moves forward to be able to eat through some of these targets.
I would have liked a Victor, just saying. Either way, Frankie Esports, they did a good job on the draft. I think the execution here, they've had a couple of missteps, nothing major, but like we're starting to see Deep crossing the comfort zone, and the fact that they were able to get such a Drake stack going and now into the Soul as well as Baron buff, it's huge. And yes, Criscata even got the buff as well, but here's the Death Rush, and they turn their attention over to Holo. Criscata staying alive, Fate's call out, and he just hop, skips, and jumps. They didn't really under fire at all, and Leaky now with the Narbar gonna be able to just chuck the house at Frank Esports here. They can't quite get the tower just yet, but
yeah.
Frank can't get any kills off that, and that was the element of surprise gone.
Yeah, they don't get a pick, but they get Criscata low enough that DCG do have to go for a soft reset.
Round 2. Here we go. Leaky going back, getting himself a bye, and they will be able to do this one all over again.
Yeah, but here's the problem, Pyra. They need Baron to be able to push these towers. They need the Baron cannon minion to do damage to towers, because who's going to walk up and auto attack? That's the core issue of a Kalista composition. You just don't really have the range to take these towers. So they have to play these games, or this push, by really as textbook as it gets, because you need to wait for these minions to walk up to actually do anything.
Now, if there's one thing Deep Cross Gaming understand, it's how to play to their game plan when they have one. This game, it certainly is the case, so they start to crack the base here. 26.5 minutes, they have knocked down the door to mid lane, and it's quite a wallet diff that they're going to be able to hit Frank with in a 5v5.
Meja is also completed onto Nest T. He's getting a lot of value out of that. So, good things all around for DCG.
Can I just say that? Like where we were asking Nesty to play some of these champions, it felt like this should be his meta. Why did it take this many games for the Talia to come out?
It could have been either the Talia or the Galio in this instance, right? Would have played very
He's got a win
similar
on that
role.
already.
So, yeah, it is a solid champion pool. Yes, it doesn't... Right now, the other alternative is playing a lot of these high damage threat mid laners that scale super well.
That doesn't sound like
that can potentially come back to bite them later on against some of these tougher opponents for DCG, right? Of course, your PSG Talons, your CFOs, even though they did get one win over CFO yesterday, it's certainly something to keep track of as we move forward.
Now, you did talk about damage dealing mid laners. There's a Shadow Flame that just got completed by Nesty. How you feeling about those threaded volleys?
Going to do a lot of damage, right? Because of the shielding coming in from Eminem is going to enable that extra penetration damage.
That's big stuff. All right. Deep Cross Gaming not giving an opening here as they have exhausted Baron buff but continue to find towers to deal damage with the herd of minions on them. They'll take that down. 7 towers to the 2 that have been knocked down by Frank. And YSKM still trying. Oh no, Pretender runs face first. Into Hana, nearly goes down. He's burning. Still alive in that one.
But now, this is Elder Dragon about to spawn in 1 minute. There's just no way for Frank Esports to get into it. They're going to have to find a way to face check. And that's problematic. We do have the voice staff now finished by Pretender, but of course, with how much true damage is already built into her kit, it doesn't amp up her damage that much. It still will help. But because this is, a very cooldown reliant build, not really much of a, I would say, a penetration build, it does limit the impact just a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like Pretender, he's not going to have as much. We haven't really seen that much impact overall. I mean, the charms not have landed as much as we would have liked. I think Pretender may be having a bit of an off game, although...
How do they play around this Nesty wall? That's the big question.
Leaky with the Narbar. 15 seconds. He's trying to buy some time on it.
And here's the thing, like, once DCG throw it on the wall, there's just nothing Frank can do. Like, what do you even do here? Because if you jump over, you're going to get stunned. Whoa. And then if Leaky is Mega, you're just going to get Wallop and Nard straight back into the Talia wall. So, they need to figure things out. At least they aren't starting out the Dragon themselves.
Uh-oh. YSKM course, Counter-Strike and Leap already.
Oh no, yes.
A little bit low from the
back.
Talia. That stings. Dragon at 8,000. There's the channel.
Talia wall.
It's going to cut him off. Oh
This could
dear,
just be
Pretender. Holo, that's the 3-man, and they've got the stun lock, and it's just an absolute bashing. Yet again, forget the Elder. They're going for the fight, but YSKM would love to be the hero for his team. He just doesn't have the damage to do it. Ana mopping up on Eminem, and that is lights out.
It's just these team fights, they just don't have a way to deal with that Talia wall. Yes, the Talia had 0 impact during the lane phase, and is not the way you would usually see the Talia find value. She's usually about attacking these side lanes aggressively, constantly roaming, and here it was literally no roams coming in from Nesty, but the value found in these team fights, in these dragon setups, was just absolutely impeccable, and he gets the clear MVP even through Leaky finding so much impact with his Mega Gnar ultimates.
Oh yeah, Deep Cross Gaming are absolutely back.